Welcome into another edition of Mavs Latest. I'm Josyah Howard, and free agency season is upon us. And we all know the number one issue the Mavericks are aiming to fix in this free agency period, and that is getting a point guard, a playmaking option while Kyrie recovers from his ACL injury. He's obviously locked in 3 years, $119 million. But as you see below, I think D'Lo is starting to appear as a real possible option for the Mavericks at the mid-level exception that became available when Kyrie signed that extension. Now, do I think D'Lo is the perfect option? I mean, he's coming off a down year, only played 58 games, 12.6 points, 2.8 rebounds, 5.1 assists. Actually, for assist wise, that's actually around his career average at 5.7, but pretty inefficient at 39% from the field, uh 31% from three, which is under his career average. So again, I know he had the rough go early on with the Lakers and got benched by JJ Redick and got traded back to Brooklyn. So maybe a change of scenery and a defined role for D'Lo might help for him. So we'll see. I think there's some untapped potential here. Obviously, a former All Star on a bad, not a bad team, a pretty good team. Middle team. They Brooklyn Nets made the eighth seed that year with D'Lo on the All Star team, but I'm just not sure. I know it'd probably be a short term deal. I don't even know if that's a great fit for what they're trying to do. Especially, the moniker with, defense wins championships, Nico Harrison, obviously. So I'm not sure. This doesn't necessarily feel like a move the Mavericks would make, but I can see why there's a lot of buzz around it. Obviously, a former All Star. If you feel like he has a little bit left in the tank, if there's just a better fit for him with the Mavericks in your mind, then this could be a good move for the Mavericks. It's obviously not going to be a lot of money. It would be at the mid level exception. So who knows? I'm not the biggest fan of the move, but if it happens, it's not the worst thing in the world. I don't think it's detrimental in any way, but I just don't think it's the perfect fit. But possible plan B options at point guard, because again, it seems like D'Lo is picking up some steam. Is somebody we've talked about before, and Dennis Schroeder, who again, he played a role in Detroit, so you got to keep that in mind. But he did play 75 games, which is very valuable in the league nowadays. A guy that comes in and plays games, but 13 points, 5 assists, 40% from the field, inefficient, 34% from three, a little bit better, but that's right smack dab on the mark with his career average at 34.2% too. So I think you just know what you get with Dennis Schroeder, and he's a much, much, much better defender than D'Lo. I think when Dennis Schroeder's really sitting in the chair, he really could cause havoc at the perimeter. So I think Dennis Schroeder actually is a better fit for what the Mavericks are trying to do this season. I think if you have to pick between the two, again, assuming that they both take the mid-level exception, um, I would take, excuse me, Dennis Schroeder in this case. I just think he's a better fit for again what culture they're trying to build and what they have going. Dennis Schroeder fits all of that. And honestly, Dennis Schroeder's a dog, man. He's somebody that I hate playing against and I like having on my team. I think he'd bring some type of energy to the team that would really help. I think he's somebody that's respected around the league and somebody that could just contribute. And honestly, I think that's undervalued in the league. So again, if I had to pick between D'Lo and Dennis Schroeder in this case, I think I'd pick Dennis Schroeder. And I know I've brought up CP3 in the past. It seems like he's kind of locked in on trying to get back to California to be closer to family. I can respect that, honestly. Do you, CP3? So seems like maybe possibly the Lakers might be available to him, maybe if they have a little money to spare. Sacramento possibly, maybe a reunion with the Clippers, but again, their money's kind of tight, so I don't know. But Yeah, it seems like the point guard options here are already starting to dwindle a little bit. So yeah, you can't really be greedy here. You got to get somebody that's just the best fit. And again, I think Dennis Schroeder in this spot is the best fit. But in other news, Mavs latest, keeping you updated here. Um, Jared Dudley, he is expected to possibly go to the Cleveland Cavaliers, but now it seems that the Dallas Mavericks have accepted a request from the Denver Nuggets for Jared Dudley to interview for one of David Adelman's staff spots. He had already again had interest from Memphis and Cleveland. And he had interviewed with Phoenix for their head coaching spot. So yeah, seems like there's a lot of interest for Jared Dudley, and I would expect that, if I'm being honest, Jared Dudley is not going to be a part of the Maverick staff heading into this season, and the Mavericks gonna need a plan to replace him again. Someone that has earned respect around the league ever since retiring, getting right on a coaching staff, and hasn't looked back. He's always found a job, always found a lane in this league, and it's starting to get to that time where Jared Dudley is going to get some opportunity. And he's gonna be a high level assistant, and he's probably going to be a head coach someday in this league. So kudos to Jared Dudley, first of all, but also kudos to Jason Kidd for helping him in the process and everybody else that helped him get there in the process. So somebody that could possibly help replace Jared Dudley if he does get a job, and obviously with all the interest in the league, I would expect him to find a job somewhere. It seems like the Mavericks are really interested in bringing in JJ Barea, former guard for the Mavericks and 2011 NBA champion. Um, Again, it seems like, he's been a head coach of a few teams of his home country in Puerto Rico. He's also been a player development coach with the Mavericks in 2021. So obviously he does have some coaching experience and obviously beloved in with the fans and obviously understands the culture of Dallas, being a champion in Dallas. So, it seems like a lot of these former players that are actually putting in the work and getting the actual coaching experience before getting into the NBA, or even just getting on assistant coaching staffs within the NBA pretty quickly after their NBA careers. Seems like it's worked out for them. So I'd love them bringing in JJ Barea because it seems like this recipe's worked for them. So keep doing it. Yeah, I hope they bring in JJ Barea. I'll keep you guys updated on all of that, of course. But to wrap up Mavs latest, just want to give you guys the info. If you're trying to catch Cooper Flag play Summer League this year, obviously it's right around the corner. The draft hits and then boom, Summer League. You blink and Summer League is here, but all the info is out if you want it. Obviously, Dallas will only be playing in Las Vegas, where they kick things off in a primetime matchup against the Lakers. This affair will be followed by three other games. Their opponents will include San Antonio, Charlotte, and Philadelphia. The fun doesn't stop there. However, the tournament style setup culminates with a championship game on July 20th. And if you're trying to tune in to Cooper Flag in a Mavericks uniform, Lakers versus the Dallas Mavericks on Thursday, July 10th will be on ESPN 7 p.m. Central. Dallas Mavericks, San Antonio Spurs on ESPN 3 p.m. Central. Charlotte Hornets versus Mavericks the 14th of the July, 5:30 Central on NBA TV. And Mavericks Philadelphia 76ers Wednesday the 16th in July, 7 p.m. Central on ESPN. So yeah, if you're looking to catch Cooper Flag in Summer League, there you go. Um, I really can't wait. I'm super hyped to see him play. I think he's going to create so many highlights, and people are going to be like, okay, yep, we see it. It's obvious. And I mean, since high school and seeing his highlights, the film usually doesn't lie. And I'm just ready for him to do it on the big stage and prove it all to you guys. But this has been Mavs Latest. I'm Josyah Howard. Please subscribe. Please comment down below. And let's get it, y'all.